When the world's biggest matches are on, it's the perfect excuse to get together with friends, enjoy every goal, every save, every celebration, and have a little fun. But this year, have fun and still remember the score. If you love vodka without the hangover or loss of control, check out RK Zero Proof Vodka. RK is redefining what alcohol-free can taste like. Since 2011, RK has delivered the familiar burn without the alcohol. 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 regrets. Drink differently. Get yours at rkbeverages.com.
Good morning and welcome to Town Square Sunday. This program highlights nonprofit organizations in our area and the work they do to make the South Coast a better place to live and work. I'm your host, Jim Phillips. July is an AHA month in New Bedford. All months are, really. July AHA night in July is on the 9th in downtown New Bedford. And the theme is Kids Rule, Adults Too. With us to talk about AHA Night in July is Kim Goddard, the executive director of AHA New Bedford. Kim, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So, we are starting early AHA Night on the 9th, 3 p.m. at the downtown public library. The program there is called Baseball Rules. You can meet some New Bedford High School student athletes, win some tickets to minor league games in our area, general area, create some slime. What more could you want, Kim?
Well, how about a temporary baseball tattoo?
Okay.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot going on all around that theme, and perfect for families, perfect for kids. And along with the baseball-themed activities, there will be also a sign up for the library's summer reading program, Plant a Seed and Read, and then people can shop the Friends Library book sale too.
So it gets started at 3 p.m. I think it runs from 3 to 5. Sounds like a great start to AHA. We don't know what the weather will be like, but this event is being held indoors.
It's nice and cool in there usually. Yeah.
You know, still be in a heat wave. Who knows?
Yeah, that's right.
Who knows? At 4 p.m., there's an interesting activity, at least interesting to me, the Whale Historic Building Scavenger Hunt. It's history and fun combined.
Yeah, this is going to be by the fountain in Custom House Square. And, you know, they're known for preserving so many beautiful old buildings downtown. And so this is a wonderful way to engage the families and the youth around some of the special architecture that's there, the special buildings. So they're doing a scavenger hunt where you sketch what you discover, and then once you complete your packet, you return it to be able to claim a prize, which participants, regardless, will get a coloring book too. So pretty cool.
Okay, again, the July theme is Kids Rule and Adults Too. There's lots of activities for adults as well. We'll get into some of them. New Bedford Light joins AHA on Thursday, July 9th, with a program at Custom House Square. The Light celebrating its 5th anniversary. It's 5 years in business. They've provided a real service to New Bedford, I think, and have a little fun thing going on there.
Yeah, well, we're so lucky that the Light is here in the area, supporting and communicating about all important topics. But as you mentioned, they're celebrating 5 years. And what's special about them popping up on AHA Night, and again, this is at Custom House Square, because it's 5 years, but also because of the 250 anniversary, they're providing free sorbet frozen treats to the first 250 people that come by. Mm-hmm. And then for the adults too, there's going to be some wine tasting by Coastal Bubbles for the first 50 pours. So that's kind of a fun way to engage the group, but also while getting refreshed by sorbet and Coastal Bubbles, there's going to be a hands-on activity where you can build your own lighthouse. You know, the lighthouse is a part of their logo. So that's kind of a fun way to engage. And they'll be part of many others down in the Custom House Square area.
Okay. I want to move to Union Street, 187 Union to be exact, at a place called Shimmer. There's a presentation there about beads and what they meant as currency over the years. This is a little history lesson, but
through a beading workshop, which is fun. right?
And you can walk away with it with some beads as well, I assume. But clearly, it's kind of a special deal here.
Yeah.
Discussion. It's a history thing. A lot of us think of beads as just, a New Orleans thing or wherever. Well, in places like the Caribbean, beads have been very important, serving as currency and, from jewelry to currency. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So, Shimmer, is a wonderful, clean beauty store. They have things for the home that's all clean focused, and lots of different things for makeup and so forth. But they also have this event space. And so there's this wonderful collaboration where she's brought the artist in to do this beads as cultural currency program. And that's going to run from 4 to 6. And that's one of our aha moments that night. So aha has been sort of instrumental in helping get that together. And as you pointed out, we're going to learn a lot about how those beads carry social, spiritual, and economic meaning among indigenous, African, European, and other communities. So there'll be discussion and beadwork, and it'll just highlight how these small objects tell larger stories of the cultural exchange, migration, resilience, and heritage.
Back to Custom House Square with the New Bedford Military Museum pitching in. There is also a bubble blast there, thanks to Little People's College. Give us a rundown of some of the events for kids there.
Sure. So, as you mentioned, bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. Everyone loves that. So there will be bubble making of all shapes and sizes around the fountain. And then nearby, you mentioned the Military Museum and Vets Memorial Organization will be there. And they're going to, talk a little bit about military history and what it means to honor our veterans, but also having some hands-on activities and giveaways. So they'll have free rubber ducks dressed in uniform and small American flags so we can celebrate the 250th anniversary with some fun memorabilia.
Well, there you go. We want to remind you now, for complete information about programs, venues, and times at AHA, you can visit ahanewbedford.org. We are touching on just a fraction of the items that are happening on July 9th. There's a lot of stuff happening, and they want you to suggest you check out the schedules and times and venues at ahanewbedford.org. You are listening to Town Square Sunday. I'm Jim Phillips. My guest is Kim Goddard, the Executive Director of AHA in New Bedford. AHA happens on July 9th this month in the city. Art and artists always play a big role of AHA Night in New Bedford. Art and Art Talk is happening at the Star Store building, Kim. Tell us about what's happening there.
Yeah, so there's a really interesting exhibit by Justine Giordano. And it's all kind of using the medium of surfboards and other media to express her vision. And she's going to be on hand to do a little artist talk about that. And then in addition, there is an exhibit in the Star Store windows, and it's called El Ya Dali. And it's picturing the 11th island, a Cabo Verdean, Heritage Month celebration. And this was put on by the Heritage Month Coalition. And the artist will be on hand there, Carl Lopes, to talk about his work. So that sort of starts around 5:30. The whole exhibit, the whole space will be open 5 to 8, but the talks start around 5:30. And then in addition, Fall River and New Bedford Artist Collaboration will be on hand to do a community mural painting and printmaking workshop.
Okay, good. Congratulations on your Creole. Very good.
I was practicing.
Okay, good. Very nice. It is Art Night and Pizza at the New Bedford Art Museum on Pleasant Street. There's a program there designed for middle school students. Very important. Now, look, we always love the little kids, and high school is where they're almost adults these days. Maybe too fast, but they're always adults, almost adults. But it's the middle school kids, frankly, that I think a lot about and wonder where they're going. But this is a program to enlighten them to some degree about art. Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
and inspire them. So again, through another scavenger hunt through the museum, they're going to learn a lot about the exhibits that are on display at the Art Museum. There's 2 exhibits. Synergy's Hybrid Art, and this is a juried exhibition of about 20 artists across multiple mediums. And then Vanishing Ecologies, Speculative Futures, and this is curated by Rachel Ostro and explores artists' response to climate change. So they're going to get a taste of all of that through, and then enjoy some pizza, which is always fun. Also, just want to highlight that at 8 p.m., a little later, they'll be screening the animated film Flow, which is, really special. That was an Academy Award, I believe, winner, nominated film. So a special treat to wrap up the evening there.
Okay. The Seaport Art Walk is something that's happening on July 9th. This is an annual event. The Art Walk begins at 6:30 at Coast Guard Park on Merrill's Wharf. And each year, the group of artists, small group, not a large group, a small group, does some artwork, and it can be really almost anything, and it's displayed along the city's waterfront. This tour, is this the first tour this year?
Yeah, it's the kickoff.
It's the kickoff. Okay, tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's this whole Seaport Art Walk project started in 2013 by artist Jessica Bergioli, and it's the city's first large format outdoor public art exhibition. And you mentioned the media can take all forms. However, they typically rally around one theme. And this year the theme is Good Trouble. And many might recognize that phrase because John Lewis, a civil rights leader and congressman, is really well known around saying, get in good trouble, necessary trouble, and help redeem the soul of America. And so that's what's the inspiration behind these works. And on AHA night at 6:30, you'll be able to get a tour of the new installation and hear from the artists themselves about the work.
It is a educational event, but it's also, I think, a lot of fun to see artwork on the waterfront. New Bedford is becoming a place where there's art almost everywhere.
That's right. Well, and
certainly in the downtown waterfront area.
We're very lucky.
Yeah.
And this exhibit, among many of the other experiences that are happening, starting throughout the month and on, is another way to mark that 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and it's really honoring those who speak truth to power and invite artists to create, in that legacy.
Okay, again, July 9th, 6:30 at Coast Guard Park on Merrill's Wharf in New Bedford, the waterfront. That is the Seaport Art Walk. AHA in July would not be complete without a heavy dose of live music. It's really a staple for AHA, and so if you're walking around on Thursday, July 9th in the downtown area, you're bound to hear a few tunes. A young artist named David Alves is performing at Cork Wine and Tapas. The Buttonwood Brass Band is a fixture at the New Bedford Harbor Hotel. And Candida Rose is doing her thing at Celia's Boutique on William Street.
Right. And
it's a great lineup right there, and there's more.
Yeah, there is more, right. And, it's special that Candida is performing because July is Cabo Verdean Heritage Month. So in that honor, it's a special celebration taking place there. And there's also more art in the windows there at Celia's, too, just like it was at the Star Store. Okay. But in addition to Candida, and that's about 6:30 to 7:30, wanted just to call out that in Custom House Square, there's going to be a live music performance by a group called Stone Gone, and that's from 6 to 8. So some outdoor music, some indoor music, and music that takes us into the evening, well into the evening.
All right. Again, we are touching on just a fraction of items on the July 9th AHA Night program. Now, for events, times, and venues, please visit ahanewbedford.org. Got a couple of minutes here. Time to sneak in a plug for Summer Sounds.
I mean, it's not summer without outdoor live music, and this has become a staple. Summer Sound Series, both on Purchase Street and Union Street, is a special time to be out in community and dancing in the streets. And in July, there'll be the Groovalados on Lower Union on July 17th, which is a funk and thump band, as they like to describe themselves. And then on July 24th on Purchase Street, the Funky White Honkies, another funk band, will be coming.
Right.
That starts at 6:30.
And AHA is coordinating the Summer Sound Series for the second year in a row. Is that right?
Yeah.
And I get the hunch you really like being in charge during the summer.
It's just a lot of fun because you get to enjoy the things that I would normally be out and enjoying, and getting to work alongside so many talented people and collaborating with so many great organizations.
Okay, so that's it. July 9th, AHA Night in New Bedford. We've run down, some of the highlights, but clearly there's something for everyone at AHA Night. And yeah, there's a lot of kids stuff this month. There's also some adult stuff that adults can enjoy. We talked about some of them. Check it out, ahanewbedford.org, and check out the schedule, check out the times and venues. You will not be disappointed. There's just a big-time list of activities this month for AHA Night. My guest has been Kim Goddard, Director of AHA New Bedford, and also Summer Sounds. Throw that in there. Kim, thanks for coming in, and we'll see you next month.
Always a pleasure, Jim. Thank you so much.
There is an entertainment venue in Fall River that continues to grow. More on the Narrow Center for the Arts. Town Square Sunday continues.